Hey guys, and welcome to our review for The Dead Don't Die, directed by Jim Jarmusch,
Jimmy
starring
Jarmusch. JJ.
Adam Driver, Bill Murray, Chloe Savini, Selena Gomez, and Iggy Pop.
RZA.
Sorry?
RZA. I said
Oh, and RZA.
RZA's in
Yeah.
it.
Yes, I told us one.
And Caleb Landry Jones as well.
Ooh.
Is in it. Love that kid.
Yes.
He's probably older than me, but
Scary.
he's a kid to me.
Flecky little chick.
My name is Scott Ellis. I'm joined here by Phil Clark.
What's going on, guys? I'm very excited.
Glad you can make it.
Glad to be here.
Also joining us is Adam Franey.
Very glad to be here. Miss Dark Phoenix, sadly, but I'm
That's
Sadly.
I'm rising from the ashes like a phoenix of my own to review Dead Don't Die.
More like rising from,
From the grave.
grave, like a zombie.
Yes,
idiot.
thank you.
Phil, can you give us a synopsis of
Can.
The Dead Don't Die for the
Do that.
viewers?
Off
you will.
memory.
In a small, peaceful town, zombies suddenly rise to terrorize the town. Now 3 bespectacled police officers and a strange Scottish morgue expert must band together to defeat the undead.
Oh, she's not just a morgue expert.
She is not just
She is
a
more
mortician.
than that. She is much more than that.
Bespectacled.
They are.
They are-
I did notice that during the movie. I'm like, they all have glasses. Is that
I have
intentional?
never heard that word before.
Bespectacled?
No, that is wild.
They each have spectacles.
Ah,
Yeah.
I'm the only one who doesn't on this review
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, get some spectacles, dude.
I need to get bespectacled.
Read with the lights off. why don't you?
Adam, let's start with
I
you.
do.
What are your thoughts about The Dead Don't Die? Are you a Jim Jarmusch fan?
Jimmy Jarmusch.
JJ, as the kids are
Like
calling
Patterson? You saw Patterson last year
Yeah.
or 2 years ago?
I'm not a Jimmy Jarmusch fan.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
Too slow?
A
for
little
your
too
liking?
slow, you know. It's like, where's the guns? Where's the I'm
It's a
watching
little-
Kylo Ren. I need some lightsabers.
It's a little Refn-esque.
Yeah. Didn't like Only Lovers Left Alive.
Right.
Wasn't a big fan. I'm sorry, I wasn't.
I liked it. I don't know.
I liked
know.
it. I liked
I
that
know. I know
movie.
you guys
Yeah.
do.
The
A lot of people do.
atmosphere.
I'm the minority. I wasn't feeling as well. Maybe I'm fucked. I haven't seen Broken Flowers with Bill Murray. I haven't seen.
It's on my list, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm ashamed to say I
Haven't seen Dead Man with Johnny D.
Coffee,
Shouts out
that's-
to this guy.
Coffee and cigarettes?
Have not seen it. I hear Wu Tang and Bill Murray are in it, so I want to see it. But I came into this with virtually no expectations. Did not see a trailer.
Hmm.
Just knew the cast. Knew it was Jim Jarmusch.
That's how I've been selling it to people. They're like, hey, what are you reviewing this week? I'm like, oh, I'm reviewing The Dead Don't Die. And they're like,
Q, what
what's
is
that?
Yeah.
I'm like, well, it's like Bill Murray zombie movie, right? That's like how I sell it.
zombie
And they're
movie.
like, Bill Murray.
I think that's
I'm
how
in.
it got
Like, Adam
financed.
Driver's in it.
Yeah.
Tell us.
Jim
Yeah.
Jarmusch told the studio
And
it's a Bill Murray zombie movie.
you don't even say Jim Jarmusch to the average
No,
pleb.
of
but,
course.
Just say
Like,
JJ.
what?
you don't say.
You
You, just
lose them there.
Yeah.
you just say who's in it and what the movie's about. You don't say
Right.
director.
And they're zombies.
And the quickest, most boiled down, zombie comedy Bill Murray.
That's how I sold it to Ty. Ty, shout out to Ty if you're
Shout out
ever
Ty.
watching that. If you ever watch this,
He won't. Right there, this guy.
he's like, "What are we reviewing this week?" And I was like, I think we're gonna do The Dead Don't Die." And he's like, "I don't even know what that is."
Shocker.
He's like, "We're not doing Men in Black." I'm like, "Nah, dude."
No, we're not.
He's like, "So what's this movie?" I'm like, "It's like a zombie movie with Bill Murray."
I can see his face. Okay.
Adam Driver's in it, right? Tilda Swinton. He's like, yeah. And I'm like, wait for it. Iggy Pop is a zombie, dude.
Yeah.
He's like, whoa! Dude, that's how you sell it, right?
You've sold me.
So,
Yeah. I'm
So, I say all that
Anyways.
to say, I had zero expectations. Went into it thinking, sounds funny. Sounds cute. Yeah, I did not enjoy it. Let me be honest, I did not enjoy it.
Shit. 53% of Rotten Tomatoes.
Polarizing.
So,
Very
some
polarizing.
people love it or hate it, is what I would say with that.
I have a rule with comedies, okay?
Let's
I know.
hear it.
Shouts out to Tim.
Shout out to
Max
this. A lot of
3
shout
or-
outs this
Yeah,
episode.
I'm shouting everyone out here, okay? Tim, maximum 3 out of 5 scale. That's the best a comedy can do. My own personal little rule with comedies is when you make a comedy that's not funny, it's a failure.
Okay.
This film,
So the nuance doesn't exist.
nuance does not exist.
Okay.
This film is a failure.
If there's comedy in it, it
Mhm.
has to be only a comedy,
No.
or else it's not.
I think he's
It
saying
fails.
if you make a comedy and if somebody watches that comedy and they don't laugh, as a like you've made a
Right,
comedy
right.
that isn't funny, therefore you have failed.
You've
So
attempted
what
to be funny.
what I
and
hear
failed.
from that is you're saying. So what you're saying is, this movie is a comedy.
Mhm.
Okay, that's interesting. That's not what I would.
Asterisk.
That's not what I would have said.
Sentence isn't complete. This movie's a comedy. It's not funny, is what I would say. You don't think this is a comedy?
I don't think it's a comedy.
Really? I think almost every
Like-
scene with dialogue is attempting humor.
Like, what is a comedy? I don't even.
An attempt at humor. Like the whole movie is. I think the main goal.
To
of the
me,
movie
this
to
is
be
just
funny.
like a Jim Jarmusch movie. To me, I don't know, with some comedic elements. It's like I
Yeah?
don't.
Really.
I don't know.
I got something. I thought this was like, you know, when you were
This
a
is a
kid and
polarizing.
you watch Scary Movie, and it was like I remember like The Grudge on the stairs, and she's like changing, and then like she slips and like falls down the stairs, and like that's funny. This felt like a scary movie of like scary movies. Like it just felt like it was so. It was like an anti
slight
joke.
parody, yeah.
Like, it wasn't like a parody that was funny. It was like an anti. I don't know. It was weird. Like there was a lot of humor that was like very like super dry, super
Yeah,
like
I think it was a
driest of
very
humor.
dry comedy.
very
That's
like,
what I'm saying.
and like sometimes it
I,
worked.
okay, I hear you.
Sometimes.
See what I'm saying?
Like it was. I thought it was.
I have something. I have something to say about that. I'll wait
Okay.
till-
Well, yeah, like, because I have to assume if you're making a genre movie, like a zombie movie, you're either trying to be scary, or if it's going to be a comedy, like a parody of that genre, you're trying to be funny, and it's obviously not scary. Like, it's certainly, like, if it fails as a comedy, it's a train wreck as a horror movie. Like, there's nothing scary about it.
Oh no, it's not.
I don't think
scary.
they're attempting to be scary.
No, they're not
No.
trying.
Right. But I think, again, I just didn't think, like...
It's almost like
90%
a
humor.
Napoleon Dynamite zombie movie.
Yeah, it really is.
Did he do Napoleon Dynamite?
No.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's that kind of humor.
Yeah,
It's that
incredibly
yeah.
deadpan
Oh,
humor.
and he did get the king of deadpan dry.
Yeah.
The goat, one might say, of dry humor.
I think it's just a different style. Yeah, it's not like a classic comedy.
No, it's not a broad comedy.
It's not a punchline
Yeah, yeah.
zombie movie.
There was, like, I laughed out loud at Adam Driver pulling up in the smart car. I thought that was hilarious.
They set that up well.
Yeah, and I think Adam Driver and Bill Murray had good chemistry, but I don't know, man. It was just so meandering, like nothing
Yeah.
went anywhere. I don't know. The kids.
Yeah, we can talk about the plot.
Don't-
I literally wrote down kids.
Yeah,
Those
'Cause
kids.
we're gonna talk about kids.
I just don't understand why they were there. I don't. Maybe I'm like I just don't get.
It
Jim
needed to hit
Jarmusch.
an hour 40
it really did.
to like get
Right.
a certain like
That's good.
government grant or
That's
something.
good. That's good.
Because
I like being the victim of obligation in movies. Like, here, hold this L. Just
Yeah.
watch these kids in this prison.
watch this plot line
Ugh.
evaporate
Into nothing.
Atrocious visual effects on the zombie kills, like the heads coming off into dust. I just thought it was like iPhone movie effects.
I thought it was. I was like, oh, interesting. They're not going for the classic like blood
Gore.
spatter. They're going for like some interesting, some like
I
World's
don't
End
mind.
thing.
I don't mind that idea, but I just thought it looked bad, like
Okay.
cheap, bad CG.
There's a big visual effect late in the movie that looked horrific.
Horrific.
It's an excellent.
And I was like,
describe
oh, we're doing this now. Okay.
Hmm.
That took me out of it.
it. Yeah.
Beyond that, there was some more practical stuff. For the
Yeah,
most part.
there was. Yeah, I don't know. I just thought it was broken. Like, I just don't get it. I'm like, are you trying to be scary? Because you failed. Are you trying to be funny? You failed at that. just a meandering nothing
hear ya.
of a zombie movie. I don't
Phil,
know.
what are your thoughts about
Fuck me
about
up,
the
Phil.
dead that don't die?
Sometimes I watch like funny shows and like I don't laugh in the whole episode, and then like the episode's over and I go and I'm like, that was so funny, and like
Yeah.
it's just like it's not funny in the moment. Like you don't
Mhm.
go like, wow, like
Like,
that's funny, like that.
Right,
But
yeah.
like at the end you're like, wow, that is kind of
That
funny.
was like well done.
That
Like,
was
was
fun.
it was humorous.
Dry
It was kind
wit.
of humor. Yeah, it was kind of
Interesting.
humorous.
Or well written.
This movie does some of that, but it's not as engaging to watch as like a funny movie could do that.
There's like zero stakes.
There's no stakes. This is like super tongue in
It's
cheek.
not a vampire movie.
Like we see RZA show up as a
Oh my.
member of the Wu PS.
Love that.
Like
love
it's
that
just-
little.
It's just like
But what?
like I get it.
Like,
Like
what movie is that from, though? You know what I mean? Like, what movie are they trying to be?
but that's
I
what
don't understand.
I think that's what they're saying.
It's
They're
like
being like, okay, like
self-referential.
you know that this guy's in the Wu-Tang Clan. Like you know
Right,
that. So
yeah.
like yeah, he's from the Wu PS.
Like who is this for?
obviously he's from the
Who
Wu
is this
PS.
for? People.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
For the
Who's
people
this
that
for?
know who he is.
Yeah.
And his history, because not everyone would know.
Like,
that.
No.
Adam Driver, like the Star Wars keychain and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
I just don't understand.
Like,
I
It's just,
don't get this movie.
there's some like weird moments in this movie.
Yeah.
I don't think I enjoyed it. I don't think I liked it. I kind of watched it.
You loved it.
But like, because I thought like at the end I was like, oh, I gotta talk about this. Like, and then I kind of went through it again. And I was like, yeah, there's some like interesting like moments in this, and like at the end it gets much more like social commentary in a way that I was like
So
This
Little-
is
little-
half baked.
very half baked. I was like a little late in the game to be pulling this card. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It feels like there's a lot. It feels like there's a lot happening for a movie where nothing goes on.
Yeah.
I felt like a little bit of like Patterson with zombies or something.
we can talk about the kids later, but that's also a point I wanted to bring up.
For
But
sure.
I thought Tilda Swinton was interesting.
She was interesting.
There
I'll
was
give
some
you that.
parts that I thought were just hilarious with her. There were some parts that I was like, "This is stupid." Like,
The part that was in the trailer was like her with the golfers that got hit by lightning in the morgue,
yeah,
and like how she was painting their face with like the colorful makeup and their eyes. They kept opening their eyes.
yeah, ding.
Like that was pretty funny to me.
I liked when she was like walking to the police station the first time. Like,
Just
like
like-
hard
Yeah.
90 turns. Like that was just
There was
funny to
quirks that were funny.
Yeah.
like, visually.
me.
Yeah.
I
Kind of like the smart car thing, right?
Yeah,
Right.
the smart car
Little
thing.
Just
quirks.
little, you're like, huh, that's
funny.
humorous.
Yeah.
Okay, Jim.
Um,
Very, very quirky.
like when the hotel manager's getting his cats and he like dumps their like cat food
Oh.
out and like licks the
He just
spoon.
licks the spoon. Like,
Again.
Yeah,
just stuff like that,
Just
right?
stuff that you're like,
Quirk.
that's pretty funny. But I don't know. I don't
there's
think
not enough.
there's
That-
not.
That,
yeah.
that only goes so far.
It
you
really
know?
and like the meat
if
of
you're
this
from-
movie is like it is dead. It is undead
Ooh.
meat. It's like It's rotten,
Bars.
bland, gray,
rotten to the core.
dead,
You should be a headline writer for review sites.
rotten to the core.
Dead don't die,
Until they
dies.
finish-
The
until
dead
they-
dies.
Dead
Yeah.
don't die.
Dead
till they
on
finish
arrival.
This movie.
Dead do die.
The dead is dead.
Fuck.
So some funny moments, but weird. Like
Yeah.
just so weird.
I kind of agree with what you guys are saying. It's, you know, there's some funny moments. Like for me, I kind of like there was a moment where they're driving, and he was like, Bill Murray was like, oh, I should have retired 2 years ago, and Adam Driver's
He's
like, well, why didn't you? And he's like, what are we improvising now?
Yeah.
Like, and it was clearly like,
And the theme
that's literally
song-
what he said. Like,
What song is this? The Dead Don't Die? It's the theme song?
yeah, I
stuff
like that.
I didn't mind it.
I like those elements.
And sorry to interrupt, but where he's like, this isn't gonna end well, and Bill Murray's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
why the fuck do you keep saying that? Like it
Yeah.
just like that
That
joke
paid
wasn't
off well.
wasn't funny, but then it just became a lot funnier towards the end of the movie.
Like, see, that's an example of how half-baked this movie is. Like, some of those, like, breaking the fourth wall things, I'm like, if you're gonna do that, like, just commit to it. Or, like,
That's what I was trying to say.
the kids, or, like, the Tilda Swinton, like, thing, and it's like, if you're gonna do that, or the social commentary, if you're gonna do that, then just commit to it, and just do one of those things.
Jump in.
For me, it was a little a little bit of this, a little bit of that. You know, just going through the grocery store, just grab a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
That's up.
A little bit of zombies here. We're gonna get Iggy Pop. You know, we're gonna whatever. You know, like the Chardonnay thing, or like, which is funny, but how they're like, they just kind of mention it. It's like they could have delved more into that.
Yeah.
You know, like the whole like mythos of the zombies, or like the fracking and the
Yeah, what about the polar
polar
fracking?
shift and
I thought that was like it was like, and then like the kids are watching like the news report or like
and
a
the
science
kids like,
video.
oh, that's gonna affect the
Oh,
biosphere.
yeah, and, like the Earth is like on fire, like the other way. It's like
It's like what?
What
These kids are scientists now.
It felt like Jim Jarmusch was like, you know, when you're like walking into the water to test it and it's too cold and you're like scared. See, like someone's like trying to go, you have to go out to your neck depth and start swimming. It felt like he was just like putting his toe in. Nope, too cold. Nope, too cold. Like, we're gonna do this meta self-referential movie. No, we're not.
They could have got a
Political
full cabin in the
statement.
woods, like they
Yes.
should have, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Which is
on
fine.
the zombie
Go
genre,
crazy.
just go like, just commit to it. You just commit to that one idea that's interesting,
Yeah.
right? But with this, it was a little bit of a bunch of half-baked
Bipolar.
ideas. Yeah,
A little bipolar for me.
yeah, multipolar, because
Multi-
multipolar fracking.
double pull
The
fracking.
biosphere.
Because it wasn't just like one or two; it was like 5 different ideas and like
Mhm.
plot threads, idea threads throughout the movie.
None of them worked though.
But yeah, it was kind of fell flat for me. I'm not gonna lie. Like I wanted to check my watch through it.
You said it was an hour
Interesting.
40.
It felt longer than that.
Felt longer than that.
It did. I was like, is this gonna end? Like, isn't this an hour 40? It feels like
Sometimes when
The
you
first
watch,
quarter was like engaging. Like
I
I was
agree.
like, okay, where's this going?
with the
right?
hobo Bob.
Yeah.
Tom
and
Waits.
stuff. Tom Waits.
Tom Waits.
Always fun. I love Tom Waits.
He always plays like the similar character, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Prospector.
and then like it starts hitting with the zombies, and then it just kind of like slows really down. Like it really slows down. I can't really pinpoint it.
It like
It might
the
be when it
more
comes to kids.
zombies, the worse it gets. I feel. Like the more zombies that are introduced, the slower it gets.
Yeah.
It was like
Right?
it was honestly right at that point
Zombie
where
quicksand.
right where the zombies get into the diner.
Mm-hmm. Iggy Pop and his girl.
Yeah, that's the point where the movie just like took a weird dive for me.
Yeah, I agree.
It was okay from there when they all see it.
It just got like
And then
bizarre
after
after
that,
that.
yeah.
Like it was just like
Huh?
Well, let's give our ratings and we discuss some more specific points. I'm gonna start off. I'm gonna go. Like I didn't hate it. Shit, this is tough.
this is a weird one. Like when
I
you
want to
said
say like a light 3, borderline heavy 2.
I was gonna
It's
say
just
like
so
I
weird.
was gonna say like light to heavy too. Like it's just weird
Yeah.
for me.
It's
I'm
like
gonna go heavy too because I think that's out of 5. That's like perfect. It's so weird. It's like
I'm gonna go 2, I guess.
yeah,
It's not a 0, but it's
I'm
not-
gonna go heavy 2. I think that's fair. Yeah, it's like it's very middle of the road. Yeah, basically for me, just slightly above average.
What a year for film, guys.
Yikes.
What a year.
I mean, 53% RT. I think that's. I like this 53%. I don't know.
that's
Yeah.
Out of
it.
100.
Yeah.
When I saw that, it gave me hope, believe it or not. I was like, ooh, like this is gonna do some interesting stuff that is like offending people that just want
No,
like
that-
Zombieland.
That's got to be in the 70s for that.
Right.
You know, it's
Right.
got to be 70, 72. It's like some more people like it, but some
No.
people don't.
Now
Yeah.
we're kind of like yes.
Well, fair warning: if you haven't seen The Dead Don't Die, I don't think anyone has.
Yeah, you haven't seen it.
There's a few people there. I mean,
Art theater was busy. I
we're
think.
recording this on Father's Day, so there was a couple. There's a couple of fathers in the theater tonight
Oh.
when I saw it.
Our audience had some fathers that were howling.
Really?
Yeah.
You guys
Yes.
saw it yesterday, right?
We did see it
Yeah,
last
Yeah.
night.
Saturday night, showtime, prime time.
Prime
Shit.
time, baby.
We had some
daddos.
some fathers that were very big Bill Murray fans.
Shit.
There was
They
a
were
woman-
fucking howling.
I guess with her husband, I think, because she came in with somebody down the road from us, and she was loving this movie.
She was cackling.
She was she
was
was
wild.
literally cackling.
Damn.
Like, people were cackling. I was like, what the fuck?
He was wilding out.
Weird.
Okay, well, fair warning if you haven't seen it. We're going to be discussing some spoiler aspects. Talk about those damn kids at the juvie. I mean,
It's tough. It's tough.
it
to
keeps
talk
cutting
about.
to these kids, and they're, like watching the news, and they're looking outside, like, oh, this doesn't look good. And the boy keeps going to hang out with the girls, and they're like, don't go with the girls. Let's go back to your section.
You're gonna lose your privileges.
And
Your girl seeing
then
privileges.
the zombies come, and they run away.
I think the last.
That's it. That's it.
The last time they say anything on screen, one of them's like, "I know somewhere we can hide."
Yeah.
And then they run off.
That's the last
screen,
you hear of them.
And they're hidden. They're gone.
Yeah, they went and hid.
And Jim Jarmusch is like, "Where the fuck did we put those kids?"
Yeah.
So
I think he
all
just
their
straight up
parents.
forgot about
That's
them.
where he put them. We know somewhere we can hide. Finally, fuck.
Like, was that a joke?
I
Was that
think
meant as a joke?
That's
Now
what
that
I mean.
think about it,
Like that's what I mean. Like this movie's like
that's how dry
this
the humor
movie's
is.
like that's a joke. See, because the kids are hidden. You didn't see them again after.
Yeah.
It's like that scene where like Selena Gomez is driving
There might be something to that.
the
Actually,
Romeo, and she's like, "Guys, we're gonna have to stop soon. We need gas." And one of the guys like leans over. He's like, "You mean like look at that gas sign right there?" It's like stuff like that. It's like very like
Jim Jarmusch
right in
was
your nose.
shooting 20% from 3.
Honestly,
Like, he was pulling up from 40 feet.
wild.
but they do just disappear, and it does kind of leave you going like, okay, like if you're gonna make these kids like just disappear, why did you make me watch them for 15 minutes? Like.
This is what
Of the
I'm saying.
movie where
Yeah.
like there's not a lot going on, and then we're cutting to these kids who are having their own like internal, not even strife. They're just watching TV, and then someone's like, "No, don't do that."
The problem is there's no stakes, like, because no one actually breaks down except for Chloe Sevigny's character, who like, sees her grandma and then snaps, and she's like, I want to wake up from this nightmare. Like, there was like one actual moment of like emotion there. She during the whole movie is like snapping, like, this can't be real, like, I can't handle this, and like she's like the most human character in this.
Mhm.
Like even Bill Murray's like, dude, how are you? Like, you've changed. Like, why are you so like? They're so
Bill Murray.
different. Like, what's going on, dude? Because like it just doesn't seem like a realistic reaction. And I don't know. Adam Driver's like, oh, everyone deals with it in a different way. Like, I guess, but I don't know. It's just it's weird. Like, there wasn't. He basically was like Napoleon. Like in
Yeah, Adam Driver.
Yeah.
And then I thought it was kind of funny when he started going savage with the decapitations and like
With like Selena.
absolutely hacking Selena Gomez's head and all that. Yeah. I
Like
thought that
holding
was
her
pretty
head.
funny.
I was like, really, dude? That's fucked up.
It was just like uncomfortable to watch too. It was like awkward. Like how long he held her head for.
I felt. I mean, you guys probably feel this when you watch like sort of a more niche movie with like there's plebs in the theater.
Yeah, absolutely.
The
Feel
secondhand
tension.
cringe.
Yeah.
Like, I'm enjoying it, but then because I like cringe, but
Yeah. I could feel.
I can feel the cringe coming off the other
Like,
people in the theater,
And
and I'm like, ooh, this is not working for a lot of people.
I should
you know?
not have got a wide release.
Yeah.
There are many plebs around me.
Yeah, I just think of like killing of a sacred deer or something. And
Holy fuck.
I can feel the heat off the other people in the theater. You know what I mean? Like,
I was looking for walkouts actually. I swear to God, I heard people like. I heard like sighing and stuff, and I was like, "Ooh, walkout."
Here's where someone got. They actually ended up coming back, but they probably found a great moment to leave. Was this moment, which I despised, was Tilda Swinton's character.
Here we go.
I mean, basically she's
let's
Scottish.
let's get it like
samurai.
she's a
adherent,
Scottish.
Bushido
Give it
follower.
Yeah,
Backstory. Explain to the people what's.
she shows up in town.
She's a mortician. She works at the funeral home preparing the bodies. She also is a follower of the Bushido code, which is the samurai code. She wears a kimono, and she has a katana that she practices
In front of a Buddha.
in front of a Buddha, which that's in line,
Yeah.
with the samurai tradition.
Okay.
More Shinto typically.
I was gonna say.
but I guess
Don't know
in
where the-
Japan, I guess
Yeah.
it's kind of Jim
But-
Jarmusch is like they're mainly Buddhist.
But like she's very like her character is like
She's Scottish.
unabashedly Scottish with like
and
white
she looks like
white blonde hair.
She looks like a vampire from Only Lovers Left Alive.
Yeah.
It's just a very weird character, and the other characters acknowledge that. Now there's a point where she goes through the town and she hacks some people with her, her fancy moves and shit. And she comes up to the three cops, just kind of like staring out the window, like, "Oh shit, what's going on here?" And they leave her in charge. They have her watch the police station. Now, she goes full 1997 with the typing on the keyboard. Types up an entire page of illegible code, which I guess in retrospect was a message to the aliens. Right?
It was at that point that I literally said, okay, so she's an alien, or she's in league with the aliens, or whatever.
I didn't even know. I didn't even contemplate. I didn't even cross my mind.
Yeah, aliens were like.
I'm like, we're in a zombie movie. There's no aliens, okay?
Not me.
Now later in the movie, we got Adam Driver, Bill Murray. They're in the car. They're in a cemetery. God knows why they went to the cemetery.
Makes sense.
They're surrounded, obviously, and Tilda Swinton's coming up on them, kind of draws them away, and you're like, "Oh, what's going on here?" Right? Maybe she's gonna like save them, and they're gonna figure out some plan. Nope. It turns out she just called the aliens in their flying saucer, which looked stupid.
Looked awful.
Looked horrific. She walks up into the middle of zombies. Zombies all stop and stare, and she gets beamed up to the alien spaceship. Yeah, and that was it.
Yeah,
I was like, what the
dreaming.
fuck?
I thought I fell asleep.
That's when I thought, sorry, I keep saying ship. When the flying saucer came on screen, I was like, oh no. don't hit me like this.
Oh no.
Not like
And that's
this.
when somebody got up and like left.
Nope.
And
I'm
someone
done.
behind me. They ended up coming back, but I think they just went to the bathroom. But that's when they were like, oh, okay, this is what this movie is? I'm taking the time to go to the bathroom now.
Yeah.
That was pretty stupid, man. What do you guys think about the flying saucer?
Like,
And Tilda Swinton in general. Normally I like her.
I don't know. I thought she was just being weird, Tilda Swinton. Like, I guess there's nothing wrong with her. The character on the page is, like, bizarre. And I knew when I saw her hacking, I was like, okay, so she's an alien? Like, what the fuck? And then the UFO came down, and I'm like, oh, yeah, that is what it is. There's no twist, really. Like, that's a twist, but there's no... It's like, no, that's what...
There's no impact.
Yeah.
Right.
It's what we telegraphed. Yeah, she's an alien.
It kind of comes down to what I've been saying. Like, it's just a bunch of half-baked ideas. Like, it just doesn't...
Yeah.
It just doesn't land. And because there's no emotional stakes with these characters, like, normally a zombie movie, like, even if it's a comedy, like, usually there's some level of, like, okay, like, they might die, and I might feel something.
Get to the thing, or we gotta stay away from people, or, like, we just try to survive. Like, there's some, like, empathy.
I feel like Shaun of the Dead, like, there was very funny, but then also there was some moments like, oh, fuck, like, they just died. Like, that was sad. Like, I like that character. This, no. And they go out in a blaze of glory at the end there and don't care. I'm like, oh, they died. Okay, that sucks.
And Tom Waits is just watching Bob the Hobo.
Waxing poetic at the end.
Is just waxing poetic.
About the corruption of humanity.
And like
and the capitalism, I guess. I don't know.
I don't know what he's talking about.
Everyone's like, Siri.
Yeah.
Siri. Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
gross.
Is that what you're trying to say, dude?
We're all zombies to Siri. And
yeah,
Wi-Fi.
we're slaves. We're slaves to capitalism and
people
shit.
aren't awake.
Yeah. Oh, fuck, dude.
That's deep.
They need to realize what they're in.
They're dead
and contact
already.
the aliens and then get away from the.
Did you guys know Steve Buscemi was in this movie?
Yeah, I noticed he was in it. I noticed he was in that. Yeah.
He played
a racist
farmer.
That asshole that nobody likes.
Whose dog ran away.
Wild. I think that'll do it for our review of The Dead Don't Die. Unless there's anything else you guys
No.
You said all that you could say, really, with Steve Buscemi, I feel.
Yeah, there's nothing more to say there.
Yeah.
Phil, where can people find you?
Find me on Letterboxd at Wicked Swami.
Adam?
You can find me on Twitter at Franny25 and Instagram and Letterboxd at UpRealAdam.
You can find us as well on Facebook, Instagram, Upper Late Podcast. As well, if you do like this video, leave a like on it. Leave a comment below in the comment section if you want to join our discussion. And subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already. And as always, keep it real.